Behold, my glorious supporter Quartermaster Nikana asks that I please try to define the listed goth subcultures without looking them up, okay? Trad, cyber, romantic, bubble, fairy, gothabilly, and baby bat, okay? I'm gonna take your word for it that none of these are derogatory or offensive terms, and we'll just go ahead, but please keep in mind, like, I don't know what any of those things mean, so, if I say something offensive, I do not mean it. I legitimately do not know what it is. So I'm just going to take your word for it that you've been my supporter for a long time, so I believe that you would not willingly make me say something incriminating. Let's go. So let's put that back up there. Okay. Trad. My first thought is that even how you say it? T-rad, rad. So this is skater goth. It's a I don't know what the T is, but T is a very gothic architecture looking letter. So let's just say that's part of the aesthetic. And so it's rad like radical, and this is a goth skater hybrid. I'm assuming on the surface that what most of these are combinations of other general aesthetics with the goth aesthetic. So this is like skater person wearing black clothes, basically. Like long, which I mean, skater culture. Anyway, that's what I think. Cyber. I'm thinking like basically Blade Runner. Like you're dressing like you're in Blade Runner. You are wearing a trench coat. This sounds like just goth fashion. Yeah, okay, but like trench coat, heavy, Blade Runner, like cyberpunk, but cyberpunk is already a little gothic, so I would say like literally Blade Runner fashion. It should just be called Blade Runner fashion. Romantic. Gothic. I feel like that's gothic. I don't know. Yeah, I see some romance in there, I suppose. So maybe this is some aesthetically pleasing gothic culture. Some gothic clothing style involves obscuring the figure, so this is maybe not that. Romantic doesn't have to be sexual, but just so to say like idyllic. I don't know how to say. Okay, so what I'm talking about is like when you wear formal clothes. Formal clothes are not traditionally very like sexually showy, but I think formal clothes are really sexy, and I think part of the reason is that they are. It's like a heart on your sleeve kind of thing. Like there's a something about that look. Formal clothes for whatever kind of formal clothes across many cultures that just has like a like being upfront with each other kind of thing if you're actually wearing them for someone else. Unfortunately, the connotation of most formal clothing is we're gonna lie through our teeth about every single thing we say to each other, like business attire and stuff. But I think that at its base level, like if you wear formal clothes to a date and you actually know the person well, not to like a first date, I think part of the romance of that is that it's pretty forthright, and the people that see you know like you invested a lot of effort in this person. Like you don't normally just wear formal clothes around. So I think that is romantic. I feel like formal clothing is relatively within the area of gothic fashion already. So I guess that's gonna be that. I'm imagining like kind of Victorian a little bit, but just uh, something that you would wear in a stone castle. This is but not like knight clothes. We're talking like lords and ladies, but in the actually fun way. If you've read Kushel's Dart, that is what like everything those people wear is what I'm imagining for that, except for the night court. Anyway, go read that book too. It's cool. If you like somewhat sexy, weird fiction fantasy hybrid, like a little bit like Game of Thrones, but not focused on politics, and better. Sorry, what? Anyway, people who like Kushel's Dart is romantic. Bubble. Um, it doesn't sound like a gothic thing to. Maybe this means like being in a bubble. So maybe this is the part of goth subculture that is like insular, like an outcast. I'm thinking like a shut in, I hope I'm not being really mean to this subculture. um, like in a bubble rather than a bubble. Imagine like a literal soap bubble in your head. I feel like this is like, and then imagine goth subculture, whatever that means to you in your head, and any goth subculture, any goth culture, and just like put them together, and like I just have nothing. Like I can't. The bubble pops. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, I would say like it's figurative and means like like a very private goth person. Let's say fairy, manic pixie dream girl, but goth is the thing that came to mind. Um, might be referring to the sexuality slang, possibly. That seems a little off. With it seems like that would just be. I don't see how that's related to goth culture, but maybe I don't know. Um, yeah, so maybe that that obviously occurs to me, but I'm gonna say like I expected this to be pixie if it was gonna be like manic pixie dream girl, but goth, like the goth version of a fae to me is like pixie kind of. But let's say goth manic pixie dream girl. Gothabilly. This one is a piece of cake. I'm not even. It's a hillbilly that is goth. So that and baby bat. I like this one. I think. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like Lolita fashion, but goth, which sounds pretty epic, honestly. I'm imagining Misa from Death Note is that maybe. Maybe Misa is a little bit too, or is trying to. I don't think she looks very mature, but maybe is trying to look a bit too mature for that. But that's what I'm imagining. Um, Baby Bat is a cute a cute name. I don't know. Maybe it's like more extreme than that. Maybe it's like child play, like that niche culture, but goth. But I'm gonna assume it's like something like Lolita fashion, but goth. There you go. I am genuinely curious. How many did I get right? Please keep the comment section respectful toward other people's subcultures and cultures. I'm not. I just don't want anyone to. I want it to be very clear, no matter what part of this video people watch, that I like we're doing this for fun. I don't know what any of these things mean. And to be honest with you, I sort of don't care what they mean insofar as like I'm not really that worried about like personally I think that labels are kind of a problem. I feel like they can be empowering, but then as soon right after they're done being empowering, they become a problem. That they put people in boxes that like kind of don't really exist, in my opinion. So be nice to each other. We all have our own situations, and we're also all more similar than those different situations would lead you to think. So be nice to each other. I don't know. This is probably an unnecessary disclaimer. I've been Zandy, and I want to thank Quartermaster Nikana once again for their support.